I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go?
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine show with the greatest cameraman around, Sonny Hirsch, and your host, Avi Myers.
Thank you, Marty. Avi Myers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at www.ntnm.org, community policing, caps24.org. We've got a really good show today. Our second and third guests are Gary Kenzer of Honest Reporting and State Representative Kelly Cassidy, who's a first-time guest, and I'd like to reintroduce you to the Executive Director of Stand With Us Chicago, Peggy Shapiro. Peggy, how are you?
Good to see you again. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
And first, remind us what Stand With Us Chicago is.
Well, Stand With Us is an educational organization. We try to introduce facts into the discussion of the Middle East, and this is colleges and communities, and sometimes that's a challenge because so much of what is out there is misinformation. So we are the largest producers of Israel-related educational materials in the world. Most of our materials are written by college professors. They're well documented. They can be used for public schools as well as in community and colleges. So in a nutshell, we confront the misinformation.
No, and you do a very good job. I've read the material. And by the way, they're also on Facebook, and you should friend them on Facebook.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good information. Not to mention, there's some very good events, and there is just so much misinformation going on about what Israel does. It's just unbelievable. I mean, you would think, like, how much can they lie? But they do, all the time. It's unbelievable.
Well, hate starts, and hateful actions and genocide, with one word, that hateful word that goes unchallenged. Then it gets louder, and if that's unchallenged, it turns into deeds. And those are deeds that can make even the Almighty weep. So it is when those hateful words are left unchallenged that we can really get ourselves into trouble. And this is not a Jewish issue, because this affects the entire world.
True.
Yeah.
And we were talking before off air about how even people really when people are indoctrinated with hate early on, which unfortunately is the case in too many places in the Middle East. It just spreads all over the place, and the hatred doesn't stop. It doesn't stop with Jewish people. I mean, what's going on with churches and other religions is just, abominable.
I started doing a little bit of research, thinking I would come up with a few points and examples of what's going on with churches right now in the Middle East, because I was going to give a presentation at a college, and I wanted a really sound academic presentation for the seminar. After 100 pages of notes of recent church attacks and bombings, it hit me. This is such a serious issue, and it's ignored. You don't even find it on page 8.
True.
It's and what you have happening since the Arab Spring, which was our hope for some positive improvement and more rights, the Christians are fleeing those countries. As bad as the dictators were, as horrible, they kept some kind of control. That control now has been loosened, and the most radical Islamic forces are attacking churches. Churches have been blown up because they've been accused of ringing their bells, which is not allowed by law, because they've been accused of building on new. You notice the building is a serious issue. It goes building issues with Israel too, but building on or restoring the churches, which is not allowed in most Arab countries.
Wow.
So if you have a church that's 1,000 years old, you cannot update or build it. rebuild
Wow.
it. If you do, and the worst charge is proselytizing. Now, proselytizing can mean that you just have a CD that somebody asks you, hey, can I, and this is actually a case that's going on now, can I see your CD? You show it to him, and there's Christian message in it, and you can be on death row.
Wow.
Right now, in Iran, there's a woman and her 7 children who have been sentenced to 15 years in prison because this woman, when she married in Iran, she married a Muslim man, she converted. He passed away after a number of years, and then she went back to Christianity because it actually would help her get an inheritance from her family, so she went back. When the government found out, not only that was this woman arrested and her children, but all the clerks who processed the paperwork in the government were all sentenced to prison.
Wow.
And the corker to this is, and it's almost unbelievable, they blamed Israel.
That's not a shock. I mean, you know, hey, Israel was responsible for anything negative in the Big Bang, the Stone Age, you name it.
Yeah. But this blame Israel and the demonizing of Israel left unchallenged is dangerous for everybody. It's not just dangerous for Jewish people. If you allow I mean, look what's happening. Who's getting killed now in the Middle East? It's not a Jewish issue. But there is such a campaign to divert attention from what the real issues are and to focus it on tiny little Israel in its swarm, in its neighborhood that's a real tough neighborhood. That takes away from what really affects and hurts people and endangers Israel as well. And that campaign isn't limited, though, to the Middle East. Last week, I opened up one of my news channels, and I saw something that I really never thought that I would see in my lifetime. The European Union, including Germany, has agreed to put special labels on products that are made in Judea Samaria. Now, these products are made by many Palestinians in Judea Samaria, and they provide a livelihood. But it brought back something that shocked me so much, because one of the first acts of Hitler was to label Jewish businesses with big signs, Jude. And this was to isolate, to cripple the Jewish economy, not to allow them to have a livelihood. And now to label Israeli-made products made in certain areas with this same concept of a label that's Jude. My parents were Holocaust survivors. I was born in a DP camp. I never thought I would live to see the day that Europe would do this, much less Germany sign on. So we have our work cut out for us.
Wow. 1 minute warning. So what else would you like to talk about?
Well, I'd like to talk about one thing. Israel's constantly accused of being an apartheid state, So BBC interviewed Reverend Mashawi. He's in South Africa. He's a member of their parliament. And they interviewed him, and they asked him, what do you think about Israel apartheid? And he let them have it, because he lived through apartheid. He knew the meaning. He knew what it, and he said what it trivialized, insulted Africans by applying this term to Israel. Well, we thought his response was so impressive that Stand With Us has invited him to come to the U.S. And he's going to be speaking. I have to find the venue. I'll let you know. But he will be speaking for us here in Chicago on November 18th and 19th.
Very nice. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Terrific. If people would like to contact Stand With Us Chicago,
Just go to Peggy S, PEGGYS at standwithus.com, and I will answer your email.
also available for public speaking.
Always, always, into any kind of group.
Also, you can friend her on Facebook. I love reading the stuff from Stand With Us Chicago on Facebook. And you'll get a good education about what real facts is. Thank you so much for being here, and best of luck in your venture.
Thank you so much. Thank
My
you.
pleasure.